Hello everyone and welcome to part 23 of the Pokemon Red No Starter Run playthrough. And like I said last part, I brought guest commentator along, and it's Justin again, because fuck, I don't have a lot of friends who like
Yep,
Pokemon.
what's up? I'm probably one of his only friends outside of his roommates.
Yeah, that like Pokemon. My
Yep.
one roommate does, but he's I guess commentary shy. He doesn't really want to do it. Not only that, he doesn't have a microphone. But yeah, this
Well, we're,
part,
we're, we're more like blood brothers if you think about it in a literal sense.
yeah, we're
Yeah, we share blood.
yeah. I was trying to think of
We're Eskimo brothers
fuck.
too.
I can't think of anything, but yeah, yeah. We never mind. I can't say it on YouTube. Moving on.
Okay.
So
Why does the Ivysaur sprite look so borked? Like he should not stand up.
yeah, it's just because it's standing up. It looks so fucking awkward.
Yeah, I remember like Bulbasaur and all of its evolutions looked so dumb in the early games.
Oh, almost like everything does. Like,
And Venusaur looked disgusting. Venusaur had like acne all over its back and stuff.
well, the behind this sprite, like when you're using a Venusaur, it looks retarded. It looks like just like a plant with like a derp face.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean there are Gen 1. A lot of the fucking artwork, well, for the sprites at least, look horrible. I mean, it's kind of rare if you find a good one. Um, Golem being a really bad one. I don't. I made fun of it when I first evolved my Graveler into a Golem, but yeah, you should fucking look it up. Golem sprite for red and blue. It's just holy shit. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just got the most derpiest face you'll ever see in your life.
That's Golem for you. And this lady's like half Mr. Mime, the junior trainer.
Oh yeah, just the stance.
Yeah. Dratini looks cool though.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to level up.
Did you get that from the casino?
No, the Safari Zone.
Oh really?
Yeah, if you fish there with a super rod, you can find them. It was kind of a bitch to catch though, but I managed to do it. So I'm trying to get a Dragonite, but it's a long road to Dragonite.
Yeah. Especially like this late in the game.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like Dragonite's awesome, but it's like
And no EXP shares in early Pokemon.
no. Well, actually, last part I talked to one of the aides, and if you have like 31 Pokemon caught, he'll give you the EXP all. Which it's like it's an item you just keep it in your inventory and it gives EXP to everyone, kind of like it does in Gen 6. And I never knew about it.
Oh wow, yeah.
I was like EXP all. What the fuck is that? So I Google searched it and it's like, oh shit.
Wow.
That's the EXP share in X and Y.
Yeah, because I remember playing X and Y and thinking that was brilliant.
Yeah, apparently Gen 1 did it.
Because I mean, like when you think about it, I mean, even if you're not using that Pokemon at the time, you're gonna still get the levels for it.
Oh yeah, dude.
And then when you want to use it, it just everything's evened out, so you don't really have to like go back to another area.
Yeah.
And so you have like level 40, your starter's like level 40, and then you have this that's like level 20, and you're going against like an electric gym, and you want a ground type, and it's like level 20 going against level 40s. But with EXP all or EXP share, it's just everything's at that level.
Oh yeah, I definitely liked it. Like
I liked it. I mean, some people say like I mean I guess I could see where they're coming from. Some people say it's like easier baby difficulty, but
yeah.
I think it's a nice touch.
That's the only thing like
I mean,
negative
you
about
can
it.
turn it off. You can still turn it off. I mean,
Yeah. But I mean, some people who are against it will be like, well, just the fact that it's there. Like, I remember watching this one guy rant about Super Mario 3D World, the new one on Wii U, and how after you die so much, it gives you this invincibility, like raccoon thing, where you're a raccoon and you have invincibility for the whole level, and it's just like, even though you don't need to take it, just the fact of it being there pissed him off.
yeah, I don't know. I don't understand people like that.
But yeah, the like you were saying, the EXP share, it just like it keeps your team all nice and even as far as levels go, and I love it.
But I don't know if we talked about this last video, but Pokemon X and Y, that was my favorite Pokemon game in a while. Like I think that was my favorite Pokemon game since Ruby and Sapphire.
No, I don't think we mentioned anything about X and Y last time. It was just like Rock Tunnel, and
Yeah.
I remember you talking about how you got into Pokemon, and that's really all I can recall.
All right. Well, so yeah, so we are. I mean, Adam and I always talk about our rankings and stuff, and this is something that we're usually pretty similar on. But he's not a big fan of. Which one do you not like that I love? Gen 3, I think.
Either Gen 3 and Gen 4 are my least favorite.
Well, I've been playing the Gen 4s again, and yeah, you're right. It's completely like shelled out. Like there's nothing in it. It just feels.
It's just I don't
Back then it was good, even though for a DS it didn't have the best graphics. It could have been played on like a Game Boy.
Yeah. It's just I don't know, like something about Gen 4, like going back to it, like there weren't too many Pokemon to catch. The region's layout was kind of weird,
And the Pokemon you could catch were just either shit. They were just like there's not too many like memorable Pokemon.
That and the amount of HMs was freaking ridiculous. There were so many HMs in Gen 4.
Yeah.
I fucking hate HMs so much. But I mean, that's
What are you gonna do?
yeah. That's a topic for whenever I do Gen 4. Gotta get one of them 3DS capture cards.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was not that good. Like when I played it, I had a blast, but going back and replaying it, I was like, why did I enjoy this so much?
Yeah, I mean,
but I still like all those gens over 5. I hated 5. 5 was just
yeah. I know you're you're really against 5, whereas I don't mind 5 too much. Although whenever I think 5, I always think Black too. I mean, Black was kind of meh. I remember when I first played Black, I hated it, but after giving it like a second or third playthrough, I started to warm up to it. But
well, both of us have like a unanimous favorite, and that's Gen 2. Gen 2.
Yeah, Gen 2
is like Gen 2. Yeah, for
Not
sure.
only is it the most nostalgic for me, it's just I don't know.
It has the most stuff. Like if you take all the Pokemon games together, and especially for Gen 2's time when it came out, like early 2000s, it had the most stuff for it. Like there's still some stuff that they like just put in.
Yeah, like 2 regions.
Yeah, and that was really nice. Like that was like one of the best presents.
Even though people complain about how, well, if you're looking at like original Gold and Silver, how the Kanto region is super short, but
yeah, that's true. I mean, honestly,
it's Soul Silver. It's a lot longer in terms of, I guess, kind of level grinding or stuff to do. Because there's like you could re-battle gym leaders and
yeah,
some special events here.
But I don't know if you think about it though, like after you beat Gold and Silver, you were already at like what 20 something hours, 20 plus hours. So once you got to Kanto, I mean, you're already like, you know, you've already gotten like your worth out of it, I guess. I mean, you've gotten a good amount of hours into it, so you really can't complain about a game that's giving you like 30, 40 hours for something that was like what $40. That's how much Gold and Silver.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
30? I think those cartridges were 30, dude.
I don't know how much they were back in the day. I know now.
No, I remember cartridges were cheap back then. I swear they were 30.
They could have been. Although I remember, well, I don't know. People here, like I remember hearing like maybe when the N64 first launched, I think it was like $300 or $400, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. Especially back then. Like, I mean.
Yeah, if I were to ask my mom when I was like 6 to get me a $300 gaming machine, she would.
If you think about it, yeah. If you seriously think about it, though, like back then, because like $20 back then, it could last you like a couple days. $20 now can't even last you an hour.
Nope. I can vouch for that, college student.
Yeah.
They ain't kidding when they say college students broke.
Yeah, but seriously though, $20 is chump change. Back then it was like, God, you could live off of that.
Yeah. But
I mean, not high standards, of course, but I mean, you could go to a grocery store and just come out with like a full cart for $20.
Yeah. Now, well, I mean, I don't buy too much stuff for groceries, but I usually spend about 50 to 60.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess isn't too bad, but still. When you only work like 2 weekends a month, it's not much. But I guess just since you were mentioning Gen 3, what do you think of the chances of them making a Gen 3 remake, or would you like want it?
Oh, I would love it. I would be so for it, and that'd be well, any Pokemon game would be a day one buy for me, but that would for sure be like one of my favorite. That'd be the most anticipated I've ever been for a Pokemon game, I think.
Yeah, like even though Gen 3 is one of my lesser favorite gens, I would still totally be behind the idea. Especially because recently I was trying to, I was getting all the starters and migrating the Gen 3 starters up to X and Y was a pain in the ass. You had to freaking migrate them from Sapphire to like Heart Gold or Platinum with Pal Park, and then migrate those to Black or Black 2, and then Pokebank those to X and Y, and it took fucking forever. So I was like, if they just remade it for 3DS, it would be so much easier to get those starters.
I mean, it makes sense, but knowing Nintendo, I think we'll get like another X, a little like mix between X and Y, like maybe X, like a Z or something like that.
Yeah, for some reason right now I feel there'd be like a Z or an X squared and Y squared or something.
Yeah, there'd be some shit like that, some stupid shit, because they want to make money, as much money as they can, if off of Gen 6, then they'll move on to making a remake.
Yeah. But
because I for sure think they'll. It only makes sense they had Z in there. So I mean, I'd be up for it more than anybody would. But I mean, it's all a matter of if they do it.
see, the thing is though, with Gen 3 Ruby and Sapphire, it's like Game Boy Advance, and that's like the only region you could go to Hoenn in Game Boy is Game Boy Advance. But when it comes to Kanto, the only region you could go in Kanto, well, splitting hairs would be Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but legitimately would be Fire and Leaf Green, which is also Game Boy Advance. So, I mean,
I mean, statistically, they could also make a like a red and
that's
red and blue.
That's what I'm getting at. Like,
yeah,
I think they should. I mean, I know it's ridiculous to think a second remake for Gen 1, but I don't know. Like, it was remade.
Yeah, I mean, you need to keep it coming. And with all the stuff they've done now, like especially the graphics, X and Y was beautiful. Like imagine playing, like going through like, oh my gosh, imagine going through this with like those graphics.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be a fanboy.
I forgot to evolve Shellder too, because the last thing I wanted to learn was Ice Beam, but I already taught it to him via
Yeah,
DM,
Cloyster was overpowered as fuck.
He's got, I think, high defense.
He's got ridiculous defense, and he can like destroy the dragons and stuff. And they can't like the dragon types, and they can't use flamethrower or anything like that.
Yeah, that's why I picked him, just because he's water and ice, and I need an ice for Lance with all his fucking Dragonites.
Yeah.
But I'd never used a Cloyster, so I figured, why not?
Yeah, neither have I. I've never used a Cloyster before.
So far, it's okay. I mean, it's learned all the moves it's gonna learn, and right now it knows Clamp, which is a water type move. It's only like 40 base damage though, so it's not that great. Supersonic, Surf, and Ice Beam.
It's a solid moveset, I guess. I mean, couldn't you learn Psychic for it? Because I feel like it's either that or I know Starmie could learn Psychic.
Starmie and Staryu, they're well, no,
overpowered.
Starmie is when it becomes Water and Psychic. Yeah, I used the Starmie in my Heart Gold recently, and yeah, it was awesome. I loved it.
Overpowered.
Had really good defense,
and it's fast
super
too.
Fast, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, with the whole remake Gen 1 again, not much people, I mean, I know some people on the internet who have ranted about Pokemon remakes and how it's just, double dipping in a game and not putting much effort towards your franchise and yada yada yada. But I don't know, it seems like Nintendo puts a lot of effort into the remakes,
Yeah.
So I would definitely be for, well, Hoenn remake, definitely, but I would also want them to consider maybe another Kanto remake, or maybe, I don't know, like finally giving us more regions in one game again.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't think. I mean, I don't want to like say something and then have it go, and then I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't think they'll make another Pokemon game like Gen 7. I don't think. I just don't see that possible.
You don't see them making a Gen 7? You think Gen 6 is the last one?
I feel like Gen 6 is the last one.
I don't know. I mean,
because if you think about it, like how many, like pretty much all, and they know this too, but I mean they're not really worried by it because I mean they still make great sales. But if you think about it, the only people who are really buying Pokemon are like our generation, or like not like the after 2000 kids, like people who are 18, you know, and like late in high school or mid high school or like a freshman in college or something like that. You know, it's not really like 10. It's not really how it was back then. Like it's not too many 8-year-olds, or you know, you don't see too many 8-year-olds and, you know, 7-year-olds crazy for Pokemon. So I feel like Gen 6 is last, is that's it.
Uh, I, I guess it could be possible, but at the same time, I mean, maybe if worse comes to worse, maybe it'll be developed by a different team, because knowing Nintendo, I mean, this is a huge moneymaker for them, and especially when if they're in a financial crisis with the Wii U and shit. I mean, killing off a franchise would be a no-no. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I could see maybe Game Freak getting exhausted with making Pokemon game after Pokemon game, and maybe wanting to move on to something different. So, I don't know, maybe Nintendo would get a different developer, but I mean, I don't see it really being the last gen, just because that'd be a horrible financial move, you know?
Yeah, I could see how the finance would come into play, but I mean, I don't know, dude. I feel like because the people who buy it now are just going to be older and older, and I mean, when it would come out, we'd be what, like a couple? It would be like a couple years from now. I mean, when did Gen 5 come out? Like 2011.
Black and White, yeah, it was either 2011 or 2010.
So yeah, it's like 3 years. So they usually make a Pokemon, and then Diamond and all those games came out like 2007. So yeah, it's usually they make a game 3 to 4 years. So you think about it, in 3 to 4 years, people who bought like this game, or like in high school ever, or you know, early college or something like that. Because I mean, you don't see too many middle schoolers buying it, or too many like elementary kids buying it, as it how it used to be.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, the people who bought X and Y are now going to be like in their early 20s and stuff. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many people will buy that. I'm sure they might. I mean, I guess what you're saying. I get what you're saying financially. I mean, they might throw it out there, but whether it's success or not is, you know, is just the younger generation, because that's where it really relies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, because I was gonna say, like, I was gonna bring up an argument how maybe Nintendo needs to start advertising it towards the younger generation again, but they kind of do in a
They do.
sense.
They really do. They, especially this last gen. I mean, it was definitely like you feel like even doing some parts of it, you just felt like this is, you know, made for kids in a way, and it was pretty easy. Like I breezed through it.
Oh yeah, Gen 6 was probably one of the easiest gens.
So they definitely have that in mind, but whether it sells or not, I mean, I honestly don't know. I'm not the marketing of Nintendo, but
It's just like,
I'm just going by what I know. I just know not too many kids, you know, play Pokemon.
yeah, it's just thinking about it, it's just like, I wonder why, to be honest. Like, you know, I mean, Pokemon's on Cartoon Network and shit, and there's commercials for the games when it came out. I saw a lot of X and Y commercials, and I mean, I guess card game commercials even. So I'm not sure why it doesn't really stick with kids anymore.
I think it might be the whole Call of Duty thing, but I guess that's a common thing to blame. But I mean, it really is though. If you look at Call of Duty sales, I mean, it's Call of Duty doesn't. There's not one group that buys it. I mean, it expands for all, you know, like age groups that buy Call of Duty. But you know, you see more and more, and you hear more and more, like kids on Call of Duty, like little kids, like 10, 11, 12.
Yeah,
I mean,
I feel like especially with recent, the Call of Duty fad has kind of been going away, and people are going to different shooters, and majority of the Call of Duty players are kind of just the middle school kids who are addicted to it.
and there's the professional guys who just, you know, just
Yeah,
sit around and play Call of Duty all day.
yeah, or maybe like YouTubers who do it, but I
Yeah.
don't know. It seems like in general, a lot of people are kind of realizing how saturated it is and just kind of straying away from it, and trying out different shooters.
That'd be an ideal situation.
Yeah, I feel like in this point in time, Call of Duty can't really rely on just having Call of Duty as the
And its
name.
name. Yeah, because they haven't done anything. So I mean, they haven't done anything special for a while actually.
Yeah, I like how we went into Pokemon sales and then went into Call of Duty sales.
Well, all in all, fuck Call of Duty.
Yeah, I've never liked Call of Duty, but I'm not ignorant to it either. I know about it, I suppose. Kind of ish.
All right, video's been over for a while. It's just rolling now.
Yeah, I mean, this is still going to be in the video because, you know,
You can,
editing and shit.
yeah, you can leave it in there. It's probably 20, 30 or something like that.
Yeah, but, so yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and see you in 24.
Drive safely.